Congressman Tom Tancredo was in New Hampshire last week to file as a candidate in that state's presidential primary. He also took some time to make a few other stops in the state, including here at Sunappe Middle High School. This is just over a half hour.
Started out my career teaching a pretty diverse group of kids in Jefferson County, Colorado. I was teaching a civics class. I did that for 8 years when I graduated from high school. My wife was a junior high teacher, and we used to call it junior high those days. And she taught for 27 years and taught Russian in a junior high. And we used to take students to the old Soviet Union, and we took them like 8 or 9 times. And it was kind of an interesting thing. Hi.
Hi, I'm Taylor.
Everybody. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm fine, thank you. Nobody else is having anything to eat? It's just me that's having my cereal?
We already ate, or we have break in a couple periods as well, so you eat breakfast then, you know.
Well, I live in Littleton, Colorado, and that's unfortunately known more often by people because of something that happened at a school in my district, not too far from my home, where we had a lot of kids who were killed by 2 other students. And every year we have I ride a Harley Davidson motorcycle, and every year we do a ride for them, and we just did this last week. There were over 4,000 people rode. I actually had 2 schools in my district that had an incident, a shooting, and so we had 2,000 people, 4,000 riders we rode from Columbine High School to Platte Canyon High School in memory of these kids, and we do this every single year, and it just keeps growing and growing, the number, because the event was, of course, a horrible situation. And I don't know, have you had, I know you haven't in this school anything, but in the state, have you had any incident like that?
Not
Manchester.
In Kearsarge, there was a threat, but nothing actually came about.
Yeah.
It was more, they took care of it, but it was definitely pretty scary, and we just had like bomb threats and that kind of stuff.
Well, thank God that's the case, because it can, I'll tell you what it does to a community is just incredible. It destroys it entirely. Let's see here. I feel like I should be
No, enjoy your breakfast.
Well, everybody watches me eat my corn.
Please excuse the interruption. With it being Pirate Day today, we have some students who have brought part of their costume, but there should not be any fake swords or anything along those lines. So the students who have them will please make sure that they give them immediately to their advisor. Okay, so there should not be anything along those lines. Thank you.
We saw somebody when I was outside. We were waiting to come in. There was a pickup truck came by, the kid in the back, the bandana and a big sword.
In the back of the truck?
Yeah. Now, I didn't know anything about Spirit Days today. And I just thought, this is an interesting school. I mean, somebody's got a grievance around here. And it's coming to school to settle it. So that's why I asked you if we've had any incidents of that nature. Anyway, yeah, I did. I taught for a long time. Well, it's actually, let me tell you, I ended up in politics. Now I'm running for president, and a lot of the reason that I am here today and actually running for this office is because of what happened when I was teaching 9th graders in 1975 and 76 in Jefferson County, Colorado. I was teaching a civics class, and I kept telling them, look, you got to, I kept trying to encourage all my students to get involved in some campaign. And I kept saying, even if you're not able to vote, you still can be influential in the process. You know, I said you can go out and work on somebody's campaign. You can, lick envelopes and wave placards and distribute stuff. And I just kept trying to push them to do something to get involved with the political process. Well, I mean, let's face it. You know, and I know what the enthusiasm level is for something like that. Not great, not high. So finally, one kid says to me, "What are you doing, Mr. Tancredo?" And I said, to get back to you on, that's a great question, you know? So I came back the next day with what I thought was this terrific plan. And And I would tell, are you a teacher? So be careful what I'm going to tell. I'm warning you now about what can happen to you when you make these kinds of deals. I came back to the class the next day and I said, okay, make a deal. If every one of you, and I had 32 kids in my class at the time, if every single one of you will get involved in somebody's campaign, or in Colorado we have issues that you can put on the ballot. You can get signatures, put stuff on the ballot. So I said, you get involved with somebody's campaign or on some issue, if every one of you do it, I'll run for office. That was my deal. And so, and I said, by the way, you have to convince me still that you actually know something about this, what you're talking about. You just can't say, I'm for Fred. You got to say, here's why, there's something. Well, believe it or not, within 2 weeks, 32 people had committed to work. So there I was. So we put a list of things on the board for which I could run. And I explained everything, what I'd have to do, and we did from city council up to